Hello, everyone. Good morning. Welcome back to the practice. It is just past 9 o'clock here on the West Coast, and we're coming on to guide an urban detox practice. We've been doing these typically on Tuesdays, but yesterday the schedule was a bit packed, and with teaching classes and privates and things here at the studio, so I have a gap in the schedule, and sometimes this will happen. I know most of you are practicing on demand, but if you happen to receive the notification, you can jump on and practice live with us now. It's going to be a restorative practice. If you are getting the notification and you would like to sign up for our online membership, there is a link to register in our bio on Instagram at urban728. And once you register, you'll get an email that will tell you where to go, and so that you can purchase your membership and you get access to all of our online classes, a library of over that we've been filming since March of last year at the start of the pandemic, and we've continued to record new content every single week. So you'll get classes from me, you'll get classes in the catalog and from Jessica and Talia and Nicole. And so there's plenty of opportunities out there with plenty of different styles and interpretations and experiences, all connected through the breath. And for today's practice, detox, and we'll focus more so on the observation of the breath. And so rather than enforcing and stimulating and creating and with our breath into sensation of our body, we'll sit and observe, let our breath remain quite natural, and see how this goes and through our mind as we put ourselves into in certain positions today. So I have a meditation cushion and that I'm sitting on. You're welcome to have some pillows or some blankets if you would like to have some things for extra padding. And then you're also welcome to have your yoga blocks if you have yoga blocks, towel, a little something that you can add some padding in some places that may be sensitive, like the knees, sometimes the elbows and the shoulders. And so anything you want, props are welcome always in your practice. And this is about bringing the ground to you, and so that if your body is holding on to the tension, when you bring the ground to your body, and it's giving your body the opportunity and to experience the release. It's one thing to say, I wake up in the morning and I would love to release all of this tension that I'm holding on to my body, but then to actually be a participant, right, a player in the game, into where you're doing something actively and to support that opportunity and to release and to experience it. And so we're opening ourselves up across all layers of our being. Everything that has taken place in your life up to this point, right, is an opportunity that may come up for you in your practice and to see. So again, observe and postures this morning. And we're going to start seated, so you're welcome to join me. You can sit cross-legged. You're also welcome to sit onto your shins. The palms facing down onto the knees, and this symbolizes a little bit more grounding and awareness and within ourselves and to ground. I happened to wake up quite early this morning, and as I was sitting and observing, I haven't seen it recorded. Normally I see these things recorded almost immediately when the earth moves here in Southern California, and I was fairly certain that the earth had moved. And something rolled underneath the house, for sure. And then I was looking it up and I couldn't find it, but something about that energy, something that puts you right in your place in the space, and to realize, wow, the force of Mother Earth, and when she wants to move, and she is going to move, and when she wants to shift, and she is going to shift. And something that is taking place and much deeper, right, in the sense of the world and the planet, to the core of the earth, the plates, right, shifting. And we get this quite often, and sometimes you feel them more than others, but always a fresh face and reminder. And when you feel it, you can really let go of some of those pressures and ideas of force and that you may put on yourself. And when you feel that magnitude of earth moving underneath you. Let's take a minute here. Watch the air as it comes into your body, out of your body. And if you're holding yourself up, in which I understand you may think, am I holding myself up? And other than sitting and the muscles that need to apply in order for you to sit with gravity, but if you're adding any extra little boost, lift, tension, tightness in your hips and let that soften out. You may feel nice and to put a slight elevation to your chin. A light smile on your face as we start our practice today. Should feel nice in transition. Having landed in the practice, you're welcome to bring your eyes back into the space. And we're talking about 60 to 90 seconds, and you can do this at any point in your day, in transitioning from life into your yoga on your mat, even if you don't have a mat. And closing your eyes, sitting still, 60 seconds to observe, and then eventually when we go from our practice, and we'll be able to transition back into our life with our practice. Whatever we've developed within ourselves over the course of the practice. Nice and slowly, and go ahead and remove your pillow if you are sitting, and we'll turn and set pillows, waters, drinks off to the side. It is not unusual and to tip over your water in this practice. You can stretch your legs out behind you and come down onto your forearms, both legs straight. And so we'll release our seat and hips into the ground. Separate your knees out a little bit wider. And you can roll it out a couple times side to side. And if your elbows are too close, slide your elbows forward. And so the shoulders are behind the elbows. And then you give yourself room for your shoulder blades and to collapse towards your spine. And setting up a Sphinx pose. And palms can touch, but there's no grip. The fingertips and rest into one another. And then keep your forearms there as the framework to support in the upper body. We're compressing into the back of the spine. So this is an extension to your spine, back bend. And it's going to compress the back of the spine. And then opening up the front of the spine. So this would be the way to go. Say that you had a herniation of a disc or a bulging of a disc and going out of the back of your spine. Right, drawing yourself in this shape, you're sucking that back in towards the spinal column. If you were to go in a forward fold and you already had a disc that was herniated or bulging out of the back, you would simply be pushing and squeezing that out even further. And so those of you, there's always a way to assess based on what type of sensation that you're feeling, but if you're not familiar, right, it can be quite resourceful. You can utilize the information, understand which direction a disc is herniated or bulging, and that can really help inform what types of movements will be helpful and what types of movements could exacerbate the situation. And keep feeling your shoulders soften and the forearms stay. You can let your chin And settle in a little bit closer to your chest. Quite nice if you feel your head heavy. You notice what it's like if you relax all the muscles on the face and through the cheeks, around the nose and the eyes, and the lips, and then internally into the jaw. Wherever you may have drifted, slowly bring your head back up. It's nice coming out slow because you'll realize in the range of motion, right, and where you're able to release to, separate your elbows apart. And then let's release the compression through the low back, and the back of the spine. Turn the right cheek down onto your hands. As you've made a little bit of a pillow, stacking one palm over the other. And then we'll adjust the feet back in. So walk the big toes in towards each other. And let your heels fall apart. It might feel good to lift your hips an inch and then reset. And the front of your hips and your pelvis down onto the mat. And switch, turn to your left cheek. chin back to center. Hands under your shoulders. Use your knees as you make your way up into a tabletop, please. Keep your head heavy. And your face can stay nice and relaxed, and step your right foot to the outside of your right hand. And today, versus keeping the back leg straight, turn and your left foot in. And so your shin is angled more so across the mat. And so you're setting up if your left knee is sensitive and you want to slide something or put your mat double padded underneath your left knee, you are welcome to do so. And as we let gravity come down through the arms into the hands and sit in, you should be able to feel a sensation from your inner thighs into your groin, the base of your pelvis. And holding your head up as little as possible and allow it to come down. And consider this one more like you're dropping the pelvis and straight down from the sky versus moving the pelvis forward or sending it back. And you may feel how your body can easily sway its way away from and the sensation, so that right knee, front knee, staying stacked on top. If your right heel, your right ankle, and your hands remaining in one position. Without moving your hips, you can come down onto your left elbow, and possibly down to both elbows. And we'll stay for about 5 more breaths on this side.
Compression you're feeling into your right hip. Go slow. Start to make your way back up to your palms. And feel your arms support you. And then we'll come out the way that we came in and start to swing your left foot behind your left knee. And hand support. And you can slide. You don't even have to lift your right foot. Slide your hips and right foot back behind you. You make your way back to all fours, hands and knees, tabletop. Adjust, crawl forward if you need to. And right leg goes straight. Curl your toes down into the ground. And keep feeling the release and the reopening of your back hip. Pivot your heel down flat. And we can circle the right arm up. And we'll make a few full circles with your right wrist and reaching forward and going down all the way around. And 3 more. It's okay if you're a little wobbly. It's not about fixing the form. More so about feeling in the expansion of the flow and throughout your whole body. And we impact and focus on one part, and we're going to create an adjustment in through all parts. And bring your right hand back down and slide your right knee onto the back. So your right hip crease might feel pretty nice at this point. Slide your left foot forward to the outside. Hand support. Engage the sensitivity of your right knee if you need a double pad. And towel rolled up. And then we're going to angle the right shin. So turn the right heel in across the mat. It feels as though you're drawing your knees away from each other as you're allowing your pelvis to fall from the sky. That's the idea. Straight from the sky with gravity down towards the earth. And it's not about lunging forward or lunging back. And set your hands, arms straight. This could be plenty. If you're feeling it, and you're able to settle, soften, relax the toes, let the chin curl in. And we'll all stay right where we are for at least the first 60 to 90 seconds. And then should we realize the opportunity and to go deeper into the compression, and we'll be able to make our way down onto our forearms, I'll let you know. If you hadn't practiced Monday, and you see the balloons behind me, it was the studio's 4-year anniversary since opening in 2017, June 5th. And so we're in the process, and we're starting our 5th trip around the sun. The studio, greater sense of community, which is wonderful, in connecting the practice now via online and really putting it out. And anybody from anywhere in the world is in the connection to the internet and can access in the practice that we're sharing. And test it out as you're feeling, possibly down onto your right elbow. And the knees and the hips, and remain where they are. And left elbow, you can always insert a pillow if you need something more supported, because remember, the support allows the body to set in and to release, to get deeper into the compression. So We're utilizing the props. That way we're not holding ourselves up. And let as much of yourself as you can come down. And personally, I find a considerable different sensation in compressing one hip versus the other. And then the different ways that you could be compressing the hip, and from the inside, right, or the stretch to the outside. I find there's differences. They layered in across one side of the body into the other. And yet the resolve in the practice is to sit patiently in the stillness. So I'm not moving a different way. I'm not accommodating. I'm applying the same and soft focus, and to observe the breath and remain as still as I possibly can. And if I come to realize that I'm holding myself up in a way, you can acknowledge that, feel it. And keep practicing to let it go. Even if you didn't come straight down onto your elbows, you may notice, and as you're getting deeper and deeper into the compression, certain parts of your body opening up. And then you end up on both forearms. We'll stay for about 5 more breaths. And slowly start to make your way back to your hands. Head coming back up, and support yourself with your arms. And out the way we came in, swing. And like you're opening a gate, your right foot behind your right knee. Ooh, take it slow. Feel the sensation as you slide your hips and left foot back behind you. And come back to all fours and just crawl your tabletop forward if you need to. And stretch your left leg back, tuck your left toes down into the ground. Opening up, you'll feel that and can turn into an open state. Pivot your back heel down. And from your back hip, right hand to the mat. And take your left arm up. And we'll make 5 slow circles. You notice how you're really not rushing anything about this process. You just never know the space and what it may support in your ability, and to let go of some of the stress and detach and turn one more circle around with your arm. And let your gaze and left hand come back down onto the mat. And set your left knee, so the hips should feel a little different and from where we started. And take your hands slightly wider than your shoulders and turn your middle fingers out. And arms remain straight. And you can adjust, so you're walking the knees back and then spreading the knees wide. As the arms remain straight, and the heavier the hips, and the deeper, and you're going to feel some compression in your low back, but then some stretch through your belly. And keeping the arms straight, the shoulders, as the hips touch the ground, will start to shrug up towards your ears. Keep your gaze down and chin low into your chest. If this is too much pressure, something beyond sensation of discomfort in your low back, or in through your belly and your spine, you could always come back down onto your forearms like we started. Otherwise, stay here. Let your arms be the kickstand. And practice. If you're starting to get some tingles in your arms and down into your hands, fairly normal at this point. If you're getting tingles in your hands right at the start of the posture, that's where you want to make a little adjustment. But at this point, if you're starting to get those tingles, and stay with it about 1 more minute. There could be a lot going on as far as the feelings that you're getting through your body, all the way through the arms and the shoulders and the neck. Stay patient. Your elbows by your sides. Start to bend your arms, and so that you can start to lay your belly down onto the ground. And feeling each part of your belly in the front of your spine and through the trunk of your torso, making its way all the way back down onto the mat. And if you need a little slide back, and you can do that. And then for the sake of the arms and the shoulders, release them down by your sides. And turn the right side of your head into the mat. Relax your cheek. Feel the release, low back. And middle spine all the way into your shoulders, into your neck.
Feel your body heavy, and turn to your left cheek. And you can keep your arms by your sides. Many times in this practice, you'll get feeling little cracks. Feelings of the body opening. Start to bring your chin back. Hands underneath your shoulders. And support ourselves in coming back up. And no rush onto all fours. Bring your knees together. Have your pillow or your yoga block handy as you can sit on it. And so we'll come back to sit onto your shins. Lean to the left. Bring your right leg out in front of you. And then you can tuck your pillow, a cushion, yoga block underneath your right side. And so you're having a seat. Your left leg remains tucked in, sitting on the shin. And you may start to realize some of this openness. Yes, there's a lag, an indicator of lagging, which is actually in bringing us further into the moment, because we're always spending so much of our energy pushing and with our minds out into the future. And so this is a really great place to be. You should feel far less stimulated. It should be wonderful. And start to crawl your fingertips forward. And set your hands as you allow your spine to curl in. Release your belly in the weight of the upper body, and should bring on a sensation to the back body from your right heel all the way through the back of your neck. And I'd like to remind us, in where we start in a forward fold is not where we ever will end. And there will be progression as you allow the body to set into this. And once again, I'll remind you, if you do have a herniation within your disc or a bulging disc, it is important to inform how you're working to adjust these things and understand which way is it going. If it's bulging out of the back, then I wouldn't want you to do this. I'd rather have you sitting straight up, or keeping your spine more straight and setting your hands back versus crawling your hands forward. And you could still soak up the sensation of opening up the hamstrings. And so for most people, it's okay to have your hands in front and spine rounded down.
Hmm. And take any strength in your arms and to release all the way down. And when you remove that strength, holding yourself up, in 30 seconds. And begin to crawl your hands in, roll up one vertebra at a time, and see how this feels in coming back into the stack of your spine. It could be a lightness as you get your shoulders on top of the hips, head above your heart, rest your hands into your lap, take a nice deep breath in, and sigh, exhale all the air out of your lungs. And use your right hand off to the side. Lean to the right and so that you can release your left leg out in front. And feel good to let that leg go. And then bend your right leg, press down into your right foot. And to lift your bum, and if you're using a pillow, and slide it over to the left. You can tuck your right shin in, make any adjustments that you need to, square up. You remember sensitivities and put extra towels, padding. And set your hands. Now we can start to fall back into the space and see what happens in your mind, the interpretation from right and to left. And now your right leg is in a shortening recovery mode within the hamstring, the back of the leg, and then the left leg is coming into the extension. Oof. And those variances through your hips and will probably reveal themselves in other parts of your body. Remember, the web is all connected. Your entire body. And feel the forward fold in through the left side. And little by little, holding yourself up less. And notice that I'm not crawling my arms way out and pulling myself down either. I'm finding a space in where I can balance and let gravity fall straight from the sky. This is the idea, gravity straight from the sky. And settle in with it and to be still. take as much of the strength out of your arms as you can. And relax in through your core and rounding your spine down. And release the head, chin to the chest. Last 30 seconds. And begin to crawl your hands back in. Eyes can stay closed, and so feeling into the sensation of the spine and the lightness as you stack. As we decompress, making our way into a more neutral position, shoulders on top. You might get a nice sigh. Let it come out, and shoulders away from your ears. And if you're sitting on a pillow or a block, and we're going to leave it there, and we'll utilize it. And for underneath your shoulders, lean to the left a little bit. And bring your right leg back out in front. And take your bum, scooch forward, and so you're in front of the blanket or the pillow or the bolster, right, the cushion. And then we're going to spot our landing. So coming down onto the elbows. And the prop is underneath the shoulder girdle. And your hips can stay heavy. And then once you're here, let ourselves open the chest over the prop. It doesn't have to be super high, right? Or a large prop. It could be something relatively low to the ground, but gives you enough to support the natural curve through your thoracic spine. And if you need to adjust from your feet through your hips, in your arms, you can. And let's settle. Use your elbows by your side support and by bending your legs and so that your feet are on the mat. Your head may feel much heavier being in this position, so use a little bit of your core. Use your elbows and to lift your head up. And lean to your left elbow, take your right hand and any prop that you have underneath you and go ahead and slide it out, and then you can return and bring your back all the way down onto the mat. And set it off to the side. Release both legs straight.
And with your arms by your sides, last big sigh today. Everybody take a nice big inhale. And exhale. And feel your body on the mat in stillness. Feel the space that you've created in lightness. And for yourself and through yourself physically. And perhaps less stressed and attached mentally. In a strong flow of emotional awareness. And keeps us on our toes and keeps things interesting. And reminding us in the beauty of change. I say, thank goodness change is constant. And this way we can get out of our minds in assessing good and bad and then trying to hold ourselves and creating and the stress of holding ourselves in one place. And we are quite adaptable as human beings in beautiful ways. And yet it's very important in that we understand how to support ourselves every single day. And being on the mat is a good place to start. And take your time here in your Shavasana, everyone. And when you're ready to go, be patient and be gentle with yourselves. And you drink plenty of water. And I hope you have a great day, and we'll see you again on the mat very soon. And from the studio here in LA into wherever you may be practicing today. And a lot of light and a lot of love. Namaste.